nice. Pussy, you look fine, man.
Yeah.
You look fine.
Yeah.
You don't, no cuts.
Yeah, we got a little bruising on the forehead. Went down there. I heal. I'm like Wolverine.
Fuck yeah, you're like Wolverine. Down to the height. Now, first of all, congratulations on the fight.
Yeah,
The fight was awesome. And that kid felt like he had your number. He was bringing up about the wrestling, how he could neutralize that, and then it's going to come down to the feet, and he felt like he had your number. You walked in there confident. I love the corner work. I'm into everything. Tell me about this fight. Tell me about the lead up to it, and how when you knew this was going to be your last fight. Or how you knew.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was kind of had like a fuck it kind of attitude, you know, moving forward after those 4 losses, like, because, you know, caring too much can kind of hurt you, you know, so I kind of had this, like, you know what, I don't even care, I'm just going to go in there and just have fun and do what I do, so I just went in there and just let it fly, you know.
3 split decisions in a row is really hard.
Some shit was real
I mean,
close.
it's so close. It's like,
Yeah.
that's got to make you keep fighting, because you're like, I know I'm one judge away.
Well, I kind of went like the other way with it, where I was like, man, I can't have this anymore. I can't take this anymore emotionally.
Right.
This, you know, because Matt, you know, man, when you lose,
oh no,
it's cold. It's the phone doesn't ring.
Right.
You know, it's lonely.
And it's cause you know what? With that, I always felt like weird with that. But some people just don't know what. There's guys that say the wrong thing,
Yeah.
but they mean the right. They have the
Yeah.
right attitude, but it's you never want to hear it. And then there's
What's
guys
the
that
wrong
just,
thing? Someone will say. What's the wrong thing?
Just say. I had one guy, one buddy was like, "Don't worry, he's a Southern guy. We'll get the eye of the tiger back." I go, "Dude, shut the fuck, really?
Yeah.
Really? Did I lost the eye? Oh, fuck off, you asshole."
Rocky
nice
wouldn't
guy,
like
though.
that. No, he's
But
not
I
a
was
nice
like,
guy.
No,
He's
the
terrible.
worst thing. No, very nice guy cared about me, but worst fucking.
The
thing
eye
he
of the
said.
tiger back.
Oh fuck, man! I just lost the GSP. I lost in Canada. They're all chanting "fuck you."
yeah.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get the eye of the tiger back with his southern drawl. I'm like, oh fuck, really? Fuck.
Yeah, something like you didn't look like yourself. You're like, what?
100%.
Get the fuck! I'll kill you right here.
I would never know what to say. And there's a story I've told. Me and my buddy Bobby were backstage when Brock fought.
Yeah, I remember this.
When Brock fought
Frank
Mir, and he beat Frank badly. And then they're walking back, and Frank's coming back, and like you're this close to the guy. And my buddy just, what did he say?
Bobby Kelly, by
Yeah,
the
he
way.
goes, "Great job, Frank."
Dude, he's got mauled.
Jesus.
He didn't know what to say. He didn't know what to say.
yeah.
Great job, Frank. It's funnier
He
if
wasn't
you know
being
it.
a dick either. He just didn't know what to say.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's funny. It's even funnier if
not
you
good.
picture it's with Bob Kelly doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Stupid asshole.
I
He's a
kind
big
of
guy.
relate it to almost like death. Like when someone, you
Yeah.
know, like someone's mom dies.
Yeah,
like I
it's
mean,
awkward.
it's almost like there's nothing you could say
So
to
don't
make
say
them feel
anything.
better.
Right,
Yeah,
sure.
Don't say
you know?
anything. It's
Yeah.
better. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, do you say, what do you like? Would it be bad if someone said, "Look, man, I don't know what to say. I wish I had something I could help you." I would never know what to say to a fighter who just lost because I can't relate to it.
You get him next time.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
No, I had someone say that to me when I walked off stage
Yeah,
once.
it's tough because, like, man, you know, that was your fight, or I don't, you know, they're
I know, it's
everyone
rough.
means well,
Yeah.
you know, but
There's nothing.
yeah.
So then when they
is
don't
nothing.
reach out, it's almost like, all right, well now nobody cares. It's a
Yeah.
fuck. It's like
Yeah.
everybody-
It's a lose-lose.
Yeah, it's a fucked up situation, and especially with your losses, they weren't. It was one of those things where you could easily have been on a 3-win tear. Like you
Yeah.
were.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the fight with Darren Elkins was very close. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember I thought you
Yeah,
won.
I thought you won that fight.
And that's a fight I haven't seen in a while. But I remember, was that in Long Island?
Yep.
I remember thinking that you won.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that was rough. Because Volante lost a close one too that night.
Yep.
So you know when a decision is that, because listen, there's lopsided, there's decisions that get, the wrong all the time. But the ones that stick out in your head, like I remember that like it was yesterday. So that's gotta. I've had a lot of fights like that because you don't feel bested. Not only, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I got an L and this guy didn't beat me. I didn't lose. I walked out of there. I was fine. So it's a head fuck, but it's nice. Well, but when did you decide that this was going to be your last one? Did you know going in?
I mean, actually, after the Rick Glenn fight, where I took the guy down 6 times to
Yeah.
his 0, and he was on his back a third of the fight, and I think he outstruck me by like 6 punches, which is nothing, you know.
Yeah.
Going into that fight, I told myself if I lose, that would be my 3rd loss in a row. I'm done, or 4th rather. I'm done. I'm gonna retire. And after that third round, Ryan LaFleur came in and said, "Man, nice job, man. You gutted it out. You got the win for sure, dude. I know you did, you know?"
That's rough.
And then when the decision came out, I was like,
Yeah.
"What?
Yeah.
Wow." And I looked at him, I went over, I'm like, "I'm not doing this shit anymore, man. I'm not like putting all this hard work in for one guy to go, you do not get an extra 50 grand
Yeah,
tonight,
right.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck do you know, guy?"
It's rough.
The
You know?
judges sometimes, and again, I know judging is subjective. But once in a while, you'll see. And what's the fight I've been mentioning? Was it? It was a fight where it was 30-27 or 27-28, 27-28, and then 30-27 for the guy. Like it was one of the craziest.
Against Feely. I dominated
No, this
him.
wasn't even one of your fights. This is another fight.
Okay.
And I've been complaining about it.
Yeah,
'cause
I'm
it
gonna
just
look it up.
happened. Was it JDS? No, I don't remember who it was.
I remember that.
Maybe it was an
one, too.
Arlovsky fight. Or something?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was.
It was Arlovsky's
Oh,
fight.
here it is. Yeah, it was Walt Harris.
Right.
Two judges had it 29-28, and then one judge gave it to
Arlovsky 30-27,
which makes no sense.
And I thought Harris clearly won the fight. And even if it's one round off, how do you see that 30-27? Like you don't know what some of these guys are looking at. I just don't understand how they see it a certain way.
Yeah. I think the answer to that might be, a bigger panel. Set,
more
seven
than
guys,
three?
best out of 7.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting. It is an interesting. I've done a lot of judging and stuff, and like I've done this for a long time, and I
Yeah.
don't think I'm. Everyone has. No one's going to get it right all the time. Sure. But there's got to be a balance in your head. When I judge fights at Glory and other places, like I'd be there, and if it was a close round, I'm like, and you kind of forced to make a decision, so you make a decision, and the next round's really close. I'll usually always give it to the other guy, just in the sense that, like, look, this is a close fight.
Right.
I can't give that to the other guy as well.
Right.
Because I could have got the other one wrong. So
Yeah.
I always try and balance that stuff out. And then that way, at least you're giving you the best odds to the fighters. Because I always believe in the fighters. I'm like, look, if I'm not sure and I'm not sure again, I'm going to... But when you don't see that, when you see that 30-27, you've got to ask yourself, well, how experienced are these judges? Because I've been a fighter and I've done that stuff, and I'm like, yeah, you've got to be fair to them both.
Yeah.
And, like, that's how I see it,
For like fighters coming up or fighters still out there, I mean, I remember speaking to somebody and said that for the judges more, he goes out there and tries to win the first minute of every round and the last minute of every round, because those are very like, it's 2 minutes of a 5-minute round,
Right.
but it's the beginning and end that you're finishing and starting very strong, and that leaves a very big impression in your head. And looking back at the Feely and actually all those alpha male guys I lost to, in between rounds, I remember like going back to my corner like, I just fucked you up, and like they would go back to their corners with their hands above their head like I'm winning, where I would go back to the corner kind of like my body language said that I was tired and that maybe I thought I lost that round. And I look back and I go, whoa,
Yeah.
that's
It's
another
fine.
thing.
That's smart. And I say that out to my guys too.
Yeah.
That just put your hands up at the end of the round. Especially the end of the fight, but the end of the round,
Yeah.
just put your hands up at each round. I remember there's a fight in Japan from this thing called Rings. It was Dan Henderson versus either Minotauro or his brother. Forgive me. It's Minotauro and Minotiro. There's two brothers, Little Nog, Big Nog. I think it was Minotauro. And there was no striking on the floor, but Dan Henderson lost this fight. I mean, it got to, but at the end of the round, at the end of each round, he'd put his hands up. At the end of the fight, he's putting his hands up, walking around. I go, what is he doing? They gave him the decision.
Yeah.
And I could not, and he was mounted the whole damn fight. It was ridiculous. But the point being that I seen that early on in fights, and you witness a lot of, watch the guys that, especially the champs, after each round, they put their hand up, they clap their hand. It's
John
like,
Jones does it all the time.
judges sometimes at the end, if they're a little torn up, yeah, look at this guy, who's head down, look at this guy.
I guess it does matter.
Yeah.
Oh no, 100%.
Well, it absolutely does. There's a thing called recency in memory, and it's like you said, the first thing you remember is the last thing you see. So if you're, like you said, if there's some discretion, I mean, like some part of your brain be like, I'm not sure, and they look up and the first thing they see is you being like this, or the last thing of the round. That's how they call it, stealing the round, right? Because you kind of don't do well the whole round, and at the end you land a couple of good shots, and then you turn around and go like, people are going to be like, oh, okay, and they can be swayed like that for sure. Unfortunately,
I know in training, like if there's 30 seconds around, I look to like get a big takedown.
Yeah.
Short time.
Yeah.
yeah, that's smart.
Are you married?
I'm not.
I don't know if you're with anybody or not, but like when you're with somebody in a fight and you lose a fight, what happens after that? Do you guys not talk for a little while, or will you see her and just like she knows not to say anything?
Every relationship I've been in with fighting, you know, they just kind of, hey, hon, like, you know, you looked good out there. Like, I thought you did well.
Yeah.
You know, like, thanks, babe. I give it back.
That's actually good. That's funny.
Thanks,
Now,
babe.
let's go do some horizontal wrestling, you know?
Yeah.
So now you planned on what are you going to do now? It's got to be a huge life change.
I'm looking to get a real job. You know, I'm working on trying to get into become like a lineman or something like that. Something with benefits and pensions, and I've been doing some interviews and stuff like that. And yeah.
Do you not want to be in the MMA world at all anymore?
No, I would love to. I just, you know, there's not a ton of money in it. You know, and there's no, you know, everything you do is like, you know, Matt will tell you, he's got to save all his money and invest it the right way, and you know, versus like a pension. I just got to like just finish my 20 years and all right, thanks, man. I'm getting a check every, you
And
know.
if it's something that you like, you don't like hate doing, it's a good thing.
Yeah, and
You know what
and
I
I
mean?
you know I love MMA. I've been doing it for 10 years, and I'll still be involved. I'll do private lessons. I'll coach the younger generation and,
Right.
and you know, corner guys.
Yeah, I
Did
think
you-
that's important. Sorry,
Oh, that's good.
I think it's important, especially for someone like yourself, because like a lot of people look up to you. I know that personally. A lot of people out there talk about the local fighters, and you've been in for such a long time. You got a lot to offer. I mean, I thought that was a very distinguished win as well. So if you're going to go out, and that's your decision, I think that's a good way as well.
Yeah.
And people respect that. It would be very sad for me to hear that somebody like yourself wasn't still involved in the game, because you've got a lot of great experience. you
Yeah,
know?
because I know I feel like I see it too often where, you know, a guy gets a really big name and he becomes a champion and he's got a big following, and then you see him start to go on the other side of his peak, you know, and it seems like he's just coming back for, like, even if he loses, he's still getting those big checks where it's like, even with a lot, because I mean, the average Joe, right? Would you fight and get your ass kicked for $700,000? Like, yep, every single day, you know. And I think that's the case with some of these guys, you know. Like, you know, they're not the same they used to be, and they keep trying to. They want to be, you know what I mean? But it's, you know, there's. I feel like it's sometimes for the check, you know. I don't think it's good.
How much
you know?
planning did you put into it before you decided to step down? Like, was it something like, okay, for 6 months, I'm going to kind of lay groundwork and get ready, or you just kind of, now that you're done fighting, you're like, all right, now I have to do something?
Well, no, I had after, like I said, after the Glenn fight, I kind of was like, that's it, I'm gonna retire, and I spent 2 months kind of doing nothing, you know, and I'm like, man, I'm wasting time. I gotta get going, you know. So I started training a little bit, because that's when I'm working out, I feel like I'm like putting money in the bank, you know.
right.
When I'm not doing anything, I feel like I'm just wasting the day, you know. So like I said, I started doing these interviews and stuff like that, and in my head, I'm so used to jobs being like, all right, we'll see you Monday.
Yeah.
That's not the case, you know, with like a real job or a career. It's like, all right, we're gonna do a background check, and you know, we should be done with this whole thing in like 4 months. Like, what?
Yeah.
I only have 12 grand in the bank. What
Yeah.
do you mean? You know,
So now you have to kind of live and live smart until you get a decision.
So the this last fight gave me a nice cushion until I land.
Smart
Nice job.
man.
Why
yeah.
a lineman? That's that is what it is, right? There's guys that go up telephone poles.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that's scary, man.
Well, I mean, that's a little bit of it. Scary, right?
You want something?
I mean, I'm still, at the end of the day, like, I'm a thrill seeker, you know. I
Yeah.
fight for a living, and I'm always looking to do crazy things. So, and you know, going through the process, you know, they're kind of like, you're kind of like a superhero. You know, power goes out, like, and you show up, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah.
and when they said that, I was like, that is cool, man.
That is a nice way of looking at it. you
Yeah.
know? And I like your outlook, because there's some guys, it's not only the fighting that they miss. They miss the lifestyle of, all right, I just got to concentrate for 2 months on just training. And then I get to go on a plane with my friends, and then I get to fight. And they miss the whole thing that goes with it. It sounds like you don't give a shit too much about that part of it. Do you? Or,
No, I mean that the lifestyle is very cool. Where, you know, I watch people go to work and they have to go, and if I don't
100%.
feel like training, I don't have to go.
Yeah.
You know, but it's kind of like, you remember being in college and you miss class,
No,
You feel,
No.
Actually,
College?
ask
What?
Chris the producer that.
Yeah.
you feel guilty about it. You're like, oh, the whole time class is going on, you're like, man, I
Yeah.
should be. I mean, that's kind of the same thing with me with training. You know, I don't have to go, but if I don't go, I kind of feel.
Then it's 11 a.m. You're watching The Price is Right. You're like, what the
Yeah.
fuck am I doing? I should not be seeing this right
Yeah,
now.
so I mean that's nice, and to have a flexible schedule is cool. But on the contrary, it's kind of like, let's say I was still gonna keep fighting in the UFC, and someone's like, hey man, in May, you want to go with me to Vegas to like, I don't know. I'll have to hit you up like a month out because I don't know if I'm gonna be fighting or not.
Right.
I don't know if I'm gonna have something
Yeah.
slated to scrap. You know, so it's hard to plan ahead in the fight game in advance. But day to day, you pick and choose what you want to do.
Right. So, but it's going to be a huge adjustment. So I'm sure. But you seem like you're ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been thinking about it since the last fight.
And I want to give a props to, excuse me, the great Ryan LaFleur. He was awesome in the corner.
Yeah.
Because
Really
I
good,
believe corner work is part instruction, which is most likely the most important part. Let's face it.
Yeah.
But it's also / motivation and letting your fighter know what's up. He did a great job of that because I remember thinking it as he was saying it. I'm like, yo, he broke him. I remember thinking it like, yo, man, I think Dennis. Fucking that guy came out with a lot of fire and he's starting to slow down. And then when I like to listen to the corners and I heard Ryan telling you, man, look, dude, he's done. He's fucking on the. And it was like I was getting fired up each round in the last round too.
Yeah.
You have a good relationship with Ryan LaFleur, no?
Oh, he's my when I first met Ryan. When I got his number within that week of meeting him, he put his name in my phone as life coach and mentor. And,
That is hysterical.
And he is, you know, like he's very good with money and stuff like that, and what I should be doing with mine, and you know, if I need anything, he's always got my back. He's definitely one of my best buds.
And what did you? What did he say about your decision?
He was because he was thinking about retiring too. You know, I think I had mentioned it maybe before he actually retired.
Yeah.
And you know, it's kind of cancerous. You know, retiring is like, yeah, like you don't like this, like me either. You know, like it is. You know, and you start spitting it back and forth. But he was actually on the fence about this fight doing it. He's like. Because he kind of saw that, you know, it's you know, the training's hard and it's monotonous, and we've been doing things the same way, you know, for 8 years. You know, where that's one thing I think we could do better is change things up more. And I look to do that, like when I run pro classes, like completely change how we do it, you know, and try and confuse people. Because when you come into a workout, you know exactly what you're going to do. It's kind of like here we go. But when you go to like a new gym where you don't know how they run things, you're kind of this like little edge where you're like, man, like, all right, like what do we do now? Like, you know, you're ready to go a little bit because you have to adapt and make changes.
You get some new bodies at you.
Yeah.
Dennis once in a while jumps down to Serra BJJ and
Yeah.
attacks my guys.
Oh, yeah?
I loved your fucking Kimuras the other day. I love when you were passing from the half guard.
Yeah.
I love that a lot.
And I know exactly how that had to finish too. I had to walk around his head, right?
Well, you were doing that. But
I was-
What about getting out of that half guard? That was fucking awesome. How you use the free leg to bring your shin across
Right.
to make the space to pull the leg out.
Right. My jiu-jitsu coach Greg DiPasquale had been, you know,
Working that?
because the thing is, when he first showed me that,
No, let him finish.
Well, go ahead,
when he
go ahead.
first showed me that, I was like, man, I just feel very vulnerable with this, you
Yeah.
know. And he was like, go ahead, give it a shot. Like,
to bring the shin across, the push to make that space
yeah,
to come out.
yeah, and then you
It's
kick
exactly
back.
the way to do it.
Right,
It's
right.
exactly the way to do it. I was fucking loving it,
The
yelling.
the thing is, like, my grip got so smoked trying to attack that, and
Nope.
then
Go
we
ahead.
came out to a front headlock, and I have like a very good guillotine, and I was like, my grip is shot. All right, let's go for it. Let's hit it again, dude. And I sat to the guillotine.
Awesome with the no, dude. The groundwork was fucking amazing. The Kimura, the problem with it. It was awesome. You were doing everything right. Sometimes with the gloves, you try to get up high, and it feels like you can't get up towards the hand, correct?
Yeah.
So you had a great grip, but it was on the wrist,
Yeah.
and it's almost harder to keep it bent.
You lose
right
a
or
little
wrong?
leverage, right?
Because if you can get up by the hand, you can keep it bent at that this angle here, nice
Yep.
and tight. But because we were having it here, and he's a strong dude,
Yeah.
it was fucking almost there. You were
Yeah.
doing everything. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
But that pass from the half guard, I use all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, man, I was just dying when you were doing it. I was telling Chris this before you got here.
That's
That's why I'm saying.
I mean, I've always loved working with you. And hang on,
Yeah.
I want to take a step back, go back in time. Remember when I was getting ready to fight Ryan Hall?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember him after his last fight saying I was dodging him?
Oh no, I don't remember that shit. Did he say that?
After his last fight against who did he fight last?
Well, he fought
Oh,
BJ.
BJ Penn.
He said that you were dodging him. Where did he say that?
I think directly after the fight. People,
Did he?
hang on, because I didn't watch the
You should
fights,
come out of retirement.
and people were texting me. People were texting me like, "You dodging Ryan Hall?" I'm like, "What? No chance.
Yeah.
This is crazy."
I didn't. Why did I not hear this?
Because the thing is because remember I was trying to fight him before
Yeah.
the Feely fight, and then I lost the Rick Glenn fight, and they offered me him in September, and I was feeling whatever about that fight. Like I was like thinking about retiring, and I was like, I'll fight him at 55.
Yeah.
And then he came back and said, "No, I only walk around a little bit over 55. I want to fight at 45." I was like, "All right, whatever, dude. I'm not gonna fight. I'm not going on 45 again.
Yeah.
Like I'm done." And then he fights BJ Penn at 155.
Oh, he did fight him at 55.
He did.
I'm like, dude, you fucking.
He probably looked at that. I mean, only because BJ Penn is like, he came up with me. I mean, the guy's talking about
Yeah.
old school.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So he's probably like, yo, that might be such a huge feather in the cap.
Yeah, for
Not
sure.
that you wouldn't be a good feather.
Yeah.
You're a fine feather. I don't know what the fuck that means. But I'm trying to
Is your
say
hand bothering
BJ
you?
Penn.
Is your hand bothering you?
Yeah, I don't know if my thumb's fractured or not.
Oh, okay.
Gotta get that looked at.
I'll tell you, man, that kid came in there confidence. I'm sorry, that kid. What am I saying? Edwards.
T.
T.
Edwards,
Edwards.
Yeah.
And I just think maybe he thought he was going to get you out of there early. I don't know.
Yeah.
He didn't take the fight on that short of notice. It was a month, right?
Yeah, 26 days. Or
I
something
got
like that.
I got offered the fight Christmas Eve.
Okay. All right. So they put this together.
Yeah, it's quick.
And I kind of had been training a little bit, you know, just because I was just going through some personal things and just like working out is like my answer to that.
Do you think of those things while you're working out, or does it take your mind away from it?
I think because I mean you get that hormonal release when you work out that feel good about yourself, you know.
Jimmy gets that from whacking off.
Yes, that's what I call working out. It's the same thing.
Sorry.
So I was already ready to go, kind of, and I was hounding my manager. And then, game planning for T, it was kind of like he wins in the first round, that's it. Anything past the first round, he fades hard, and his first fight in the UFC, the guy ran out, fought him hard, and he threw back hard. And then at the beginning of the second round, he ran out there again to get in his face, and he was just like, "Oh, come on, man," and dropped his hand and got head kicked. So that was the game plan, was to run out there, get in his face, put pressure on him, and get him tired.
Yeah, he definitely looked tired by the second round.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then by the third round.
Yeah, he'll quit.
Yeah, I liked how you were. I liked how determined you were with your takedowns. Because initially you maybe had a bit of success with that, like keeping you away a little bit. But you were like, I really thought that was smart to stay in pressure, and then eventually it just.
Right.
Once he went down, you could see he wasn't trying to get up.
Because he is a very explosive guy, so he'll hang out about 4 feet away, and then he kind of level changes and overhand. He springs in for a big tack, and I think that's where he actually got me the one time.
Right.
When he did drop me, he covered a lot of distance very quickly, and I was like, oh man, I wasn't ready for that, So the game plan was just stay right in his face where he can't load up,